Is it okay? Okay. One of the other things is what? Is basically, it involves what? You should involve two big teams in your company as well, if you have them. And if you have a large corporation, you will have those teams for sure. Compliance and security. They will have to have a word on this since the beginning of the implementation of the projects that you have. I see already companies and some IT departments trying to push this without the knowledge of those departments, teams, call it whatever, it really depends on the company. And, well, things didn't really end up well for them, to be honest, okay? Like security teams, if they are a good security team, they should be what? Very picky in what we deploy, okay? And they were, and this was a big problem, okay, that they had. So be careful on this and try also to always involve, okay, since the start. So I always deliver something that I call a cloud team roadmap. You can call it whatever you want, okay? But this is just the name that I gave to this. The first thing that I do is to do what? I analyze the current team status. And basically the big idea that I have over here is pretty simple, is let's just assess the current team. Okay, what do you have? What cloud knowledge do you have? Okay, what's the status of the employees, etc. Then later on, I create individual change plans for those employees, each one of them. And I will have like a slide on this, which is pretty important, because you can't just tell someone, hey, tomorrow you're going to start to do this and that's it. Okay, we need to have an agreement with the employee, or else they will fight this. But later on, train your team. Yeah, because look, no one understands the new services because they are freaking different. They are used to do something in a different way. They will need to get proper training. And proper training will really depend on the kind of things that you're going to have. And of course, we'll have a bunch of options there. I always put certification on my goals here. It's something that is not like mandatory, okay, for my change plans, but I think is a good way to get to a target. My target is to get to this, okay, and then to get to this, Microsoft is very good on this. They have like a very cool object domain, and you can understand, okay, to get to this, I need to know all this. Makes sense, that certification for that role in the company. So let's talk about the team status, okay? So there are a lot of team roles, and I don't know if you guys work here for more smaller companies or large corporations, but if you work in small companies, yeah, probably you're not going to have all those roles in your team. You just have what? Persons that do 2 or 3 or several of those roles at the same time. Okay, but let's talk about the roles and not let's talk about like, oh, there's an employee just to do this, okay? So usually we have a cloud CIO, CFO, an architect, engineer, administrator, help desk, okay, developers. Then I will have DevOps and quality and assurance. Okay, so quality teams also here, of course, pretty important. But let's talk about the CIO, CFO. So what is the role? What are the functions that this person will need to have? Calculate the return of investments, for example, for your cloud solutions. You really need, when you're going to implement this, you need to go up there to management and say, hey, look, yeah, we're going to do this because we're going to save money, or because you're going to have a better delivery, a better project for our customers, and we will get, okay, we'll get the money, some of the money for sure. So this is the person that will do that interaction, okay? I'm not putting people from like a cloud administrator in doing this. It's just not his job, okay? Then manage the costs of the cloud solution. Today, and there are a large set of tools, a large set of third providers. If you go to the Expo Hall, I already had the chance to go to the Expo Hall and already had some conversations with some of them there. Microsoft also has great tools on the Azure portal about cost management. This is also pretty important. You should control the cost of your solution. I have a bunch of customers saying, oh, the cloud is expensive. Everyone already heard this, correct? And one of the things that I always try to do is go there, analyze what they have, and then just found a solution for them. And believe me that probably 100% of the times until now, okay, I always found something over there that they could do a little bit better, and they could save, okay, some credits on Azure to put other solutions there. Also manages licensing, okay, manage all the cloud contracts, if an enterprise agreement, CSP, whatever, all those boring things to do, okay. They need to manage all this, and also external resource contracts with third-party providers that you might have. This will be a responsibility of this role. Then I have another role which is called a cloud architect. Okay, that the cloud architect, it will be responsible for what? To basically design all the applications. So there is a new application. We need to do something with this new application. Okay, so this is the role that is going to be the person responsible, okay, to get the business requirements and then choose the set of services that you have on Azure that will best fit on that specific need. This is not an easy job, believe me. This role, who has this role, needs to have a proper knowledge across a set of services that goes from machine learning to infrastructure as a service, to PaaS, okay, to DevOps. So it really needs to understand what the service do and all the features that the service will have. Another role will be the cloud engineer, okay? The cloud engineer will be responsible for what? For basically maintaining the team that maintains all the cloud infrastructure. It will manage not only those services over there. Of course, I couldn't have a slide that could fit everything, but this is just an example of stuff that they will manage. VMs, security, networking, okay, and then storage, and also a set of other PaaS services over there. Then another one, and then in a lot of places, I see people that don't care about this role. They don't care about it. They just, use it and that's it. Okay? They don't give proper training to the help desk people. The help desk is just a frontliner, okay, between your users and the IT department. Just that. If the solution is not doing well because, well, someone messed up doing the solution, okay, it happens, right? It already happened here to everyone for sure. What happened is that this is the frontliners. These are the ones that they need to have proper trust so that they don't pass non-trust information to your users. Or all else, your users will just tell, yeah, we're starting to move stuff to the cloud, and then this is just not working. The cloud is horrible. Okay, so we need to proper train those people too. They are the front, I call it usually like the frontliners of the cloud solutions. Okay, they are doing the support on this. Of course, they don't need to have a deep knowledge on how to create this and all the bits and bytes of something, for sure not. But they need to have some cloud awareness for sure. Then your developer teams, okay? Developing for cloud is just not the same thing as developing for on-prem. There are slightly differences. And of course, I know language X, Y, and Z. Okay, that's good, but we're talking about how do I connect to a storage account? How do I deploy files to a storage account? How can I basically make use of the app services to put my apps faster on the app service? How can I scale and make use of scaling on a cloud environment? All of this, like using the key vault to store all my keys, credentials, certificates, all of that, okay? All of this is things that the cloud developer, all your developers should be aware, and they should know how to work with this. This, again, it's also something that we need to make awareness for all the developers, okay, across the company that will develop solutions for this. So this is the roles that we have. Of course, I also had quality and DevOps. I'm just not going to run through all of them because we just don't have the time. Change plans, okay? So there is also we need to create an individual change plan for every employee that you're going to do this with them. Okay? And I have some steps over there. The first one is to list why we are changing. Sometimes in companies, people just don't explain to employees why we're doing this. We're just doing this because someone wants, and that's it. At least try to find a paragraph that explains why you're changing things, okay? And I try to explain to them. They will like that. They will be that, oh, yeah, they want my feedback. Yeah. Usually this works a lot. Then scope the change. This is your role today. Okay? Really put that there. Some people don't put that. Just put the final role that I want you to have. When I put, this is your role today, okay? People are like, oh, yeah, this guy knows what I'm doing. Okay? He cares. And so we are going to make you do this. So, like, for example, let's imagine a cloud administrator. Okay, you're doing stuff on-prem now. You're going to manage virtual machines and storage, for example, on Azure. Then get their support. It's very, very important to get their support, get their agreement, okay? Also, get to know the management team and to understand that the management team is also involved on this, okay? And then create an individual plan for that change. That person will change their job a lot. And then just put like a time frame that agree with the person. Hey, look, you're comfortable to do this in X months. Oh, yeah, okay. Let's agree on X months. And they will always tell you, I need a year, okay? And you need to fight a little bit that with them because they don't need a year, okay? He wants a year, but he's never going to get a year, okay, to do the change. Then, of course, create a communication plan. So a communication plan, it's something that is company-wide, okay? And we are going to have meetings with the persons, okay, from X to X time and to understand what they are doing some coaching on them, try to find someone in the company that's already has a good knowledge on the cloud, etc., to be their guides and their coach. And then they are going to do, okay, they are going to do that support to that person, okay? And of course, on those meetings, and those meetings are very, very important because it's not like one shot, okay? You're going to take this for a long time. Like track resistance and roadblocks, okay? People will resist. That's in their nature, period. Okay, they are not machines. A machine is just say, hey, like, don't do like this, do like this, and the machine just do it, okay? A human is horrible on that. We all are, okay? I think everyone already made some changes in your life, and look, correct, it's horrible. Like, look for me, I'm trying to eat better. It's not working, right? I do a lot of conferences and a lot of trips per year. That's my excuse, really, got it? But I know it's not working, okay? So I need to change, and my wife is trying to make some track resistant and roadblocks for me now, okay? But this is important, okay? Because people will always try to find excuses, etc. Okay? Then, training resources, and this, we are in a very, very good, time for this because Microsoft just announced a lot of new stuff, okay, this week. One of them, for example, is something called Microsoft Learn. Microsoft Learn has a very good price tag. Okay, you know the price tag of Microsoft Learn? Who knows? Free. That's correct. Okay? So Microsoft Learn is very good. It's what we usually call micro learning. Okay? So it's not they are not going to provide you a trainer to your company, okay, to teach a full week of a class for sure. But it's a website where I can just go there and I can, based on a role base, you can just find a lot of training material for your employees. Hey, look, your employees don't need to go through a proper training class. They might not have the time. They might not need it. It really depends, okay? And if you're talking about younger generation employees, they really can't focus that much on a week training, believe me. I know that, okay? Then online courses. So there's a lot of, even some of them also free, Okay, others you need to get a proper subscription from LinkedIn Learning, okay, and from Plural side. Usually self-paced, online courses. You can track. You can create a transcript. If you have a company subscription, you can track if your employees are really watching that or not, if they are interacting with things, etc. Once again, it's not for everyone. Okay? There are people that like other kinds of trainings. And this is one of the things that we need to discuss when you're doing the change plan, is what kind of training do you need? What kind of training the company can deliver, okay, to you so that we can make the change. Okay? Also, hands-on labs. There's really a lot of them assessments in the end so that we can assess if, well, the person really watched the video and learned something, or he just clicked play and went for lunch. Okay, correct? So there was one customer of mine that they were using another platform. They had like an internal platform, and we analyzed when people were seeing videos, and it was during lunchtime, some of them. But they were still having lunch. And they were watching the videos in their laptops in the office, blink, right? Okay, so yeah. So we got them, basically. Instructor-led training. Some people really like the instructor-led training, and that's what they want. They prefer to have an expert in front of them where that person will just help them, et cetera, et cetera. So you can reach Microsoft Learning Partners. Of course, this is one of the paid things that we have, okay? The big advantage of this is that, well, you can really customize the classes today, what you want, what you don't want. So it's you can go deeper. You can just have something lighter, okay, like a 100, 200 level thing, or you can even have classes that are 400 level, very specific about a small problem, okay? Then we talk about what? We talk about the certification part. I'm not going to bother you. You can go to the certification booth. They have all the information there, okay? But what I like on certification is that usually when people say, hey, I'm going to do a certification, they are usually, even if you're already working with Azure, you're working with Azure with that specific function. And sometimes I want you to go a little bit broader and to know other services that might help you on your daily business, on your daily tasks. What happens is that when you do this, okay, when you make people go through a certification, usually the certification is broader than what the job that the person has, a little bit more. And that's a good thing, okay? That's really, really a good thing because they go beyond, okay, their regular task. And of course, then there's a lot of studies around this, improve staff retention, not the opposite, okay? There's a lot of people that I'm not certifying my employees because then they will leave the company, correct? I think everyone already heard this for sure. That's totally wrong. People don't leave the company because of that, okay? That was just something that facilitates that person to leave the company. The person leaves the company because he's unhappy with other stuff, not because he's certified or he's not certified. It doesn't have nothing to do with it, okay? Then it also improves what? Team credibility. If you're working in consulting services, who here is consulting services? Okay, yeah, well, no, only one. Final customers? Yes, most of you? Okay. So the thing is what? For consulting services companies, of course, hey, look, we have a certified team. It's just one more badge that you can show on a proposal. Some public proposals, for example, in some countries, they request people that need to go there and they need to be certified with this, and that. Also, if you're working in, for example, in a final customer, like utility services, something like that, it's also pretty good for internal credibility of your team, okay? It's also very, very, very good so that everyone within your company understands that, oh, we have a very good IT department. They are even certified, et cetera. Okay? So that's always good. And of course, if you're a Microsoft partner, that's very, very important because to reach some level of competencies, et cetera, you need to have those certifications. You need to have X number of employees, and that depends on a lot of other things, okay? And so we have now a batch of new certifications. So Microsoft just launched one, which is basically a Microsoft Azure Fundamentals, okay? Amazingly good, awesome for what? Help desk. This is what I always recommend now for help desk teams, okay? Then they launched other ones, okay? Currently, we have administrator certification, and they have a developer certification, okay? Then they also launched two more, okay? Which is on top, on the right, we have the architect level, that you can just take the architect level straight on. You don't need to go through to be an administrator or a developer, okay? You don't need the fundamentals. The fundamentals has optional in blue, okay? So the fundamentals is just like, for example, for someone that comes from basically an help desk role or something like this, that's what they want. If you're like a cloud administrator or you're going to get to a cloud administrator level, you're not going through fundamentals. It's just redundant to have the fundamentals. If you want to have, that's good. Just happy for you, okay? Just get it if you want it. But it's not, okay? It's not going to be relevant. So you can go straight on to the administrator or to the developer. But if you go to the expert, you can also go to the expert straight on. So those three ones are just go there and just take it. But if you go for the DevOps, and that one is still not launched, so it's coming soon, just announced yet, you will need to have an administrator certification or, okay, a developer certification. So one or the other one, okay? If you already have some Azure certifications, if you already are certified today, the main three exams are the 532, the 533, and the 535. Microsoft has some exams. That's the box that you can find on the lower part of the slide on the right. They will have what they call basically transition exams, okay, to transition you from the old cert to the new certification. So you just need to take one exam and you're there if you already have the corresponding old exam. Each one of those boxes, with the exception of the fundamentals, are 2 exams, okay? Well, the DevOps we still don't know, but it's just announced the name, but the other 3 are just 2 exams, okay? Then I have here, just for your reference, to be honest, the learning path, okay, for the Azure administrator role. And as you could see over there, we have basically topics on a lot of things like manage your subscriptions, implementing storage, implementing virtual machines, okay, manage virtual machines, manage identity, which is basically Azure Active Directory. So all of that, okay, are topics on the object domain, and then you have a huge object domain with all of the specific things that you need to know in each one of those topics, correct? And of course, the last exam, the one you need to know app services, how to migrate VMs from on-prem to the cloud. You need to know security and also a little bit on networking. All right, so that's basically all the things that we need to know. And as for reference for developers, similar stuff. Okay, we have basically storage, again, PaaS solutions, how to create security, a little bit on DevOps too, okay, integrating services. So there's a lot of topics, and also on the architect level, even more topics we have. I'm not going through them, all of them at detail. This is just, if you guys want to get later on the slides, okay, on the tech community, you can just grab the slides from there, and this will be there, okay? So let's talk about resources. So I talk about a lot of stuff, and in terms of resume, we talk about what until now? We need to create what? We need to aware what are the status of our team today, done. Then I need to understand, okay, what kind of persons that I have there, and create a change plan for each one of them based on the roles that I want to get to. Later on, I need to provide training resources for them so that they can improve their knowledge today. And yeah, if I want, I can even put the certification as a place, okay, for them to go and to get. And for me, I always put this because I really like when people have like a goal. Yeah, I need to go there. Okay, that's always a nice objective for them. I have some links here also. Okay, about where is the Microsoft Learn. Okay, and by the way, a tip: if you go to their booth and you register there, you get a voucher. Then you can get you have a machine where you can get a shirt. Okay, from there. Okay, it's just a tip. Okay, also LinkedIn Learning, Pluralsight, ILT training, and the Azure certification. So all of this that I was talking about, you have all the links over there, just like a link page where you can get all the stuff that I was talking about. Okay, and I would like to thank everyone for coming. Okay, this is just some ideas how can you best capacity your team on Microsoft Azure. I hope that you enjoyed, and if you have some questions, I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. No questions? Okay, I'll stay here, okay? So if you want to basically discuss some of the things, don't forget to evaluate the session, okay? And I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much.